Okay guys, happy Sunday, although it won't be Sunday when you're seeing this. This is just me and Joey. I'm getting ready to do my jumping jacks for our math graphing problem. So if you do any of your activities outside or inside and you want to take pictures, you should totally do that. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how I went through and decided how to continue on with my graphing project. So I did the jumping jacks earlier, and these are the results that I got. Um, I just did a regular data table, which is part of the assignment, so make sure that you do a data table as well for whatever you decide to track. Um, I have the trial number over here, and then I have the number of jumps over here. And just make sure that whatever you decide to graph is something that you actually did. It's an action. So don't ask everybody what their favorite color is or what your favorite book is or things like that, because the idea of this graphing project is to do something. So when I decided what I was going to do, I came up with several different ideas. I thought about doing how many pages I could read in a minute. I thought about how many chapters I read in a day. I thought about how many words I read in 10 minutes. I thought about how many steps I could get in a day because my Fitbit tracks that. I thought about jump roping, although when I went to do that, I couldn't find my jump rope, so that was out. And I thought about doing free throws, but that was out because my ball is flat and I don't have a hoop here. So in order to choose something that I could do, I had to choose something that I was actually able to track. So I decided jumping jacks. There are lots of things that you could do at home too. You could do how many times you walk your dog in a day. You could do how many times you go up and down the stairs every day if you have stairs. You could do how many seconds you can stand on one foot before you fall. You could do lots of different things. So feel free to do whatever you want. I just chose jumping jacks. So this is how I did my data. And then I had to ask myself, what kind of question am I actually wanting to answer for this project? Yeah, you want to answer the question because I'm making you answer the question, but part of the project is being able to figure out what kind of graph to use. And in order to figure out what kind of graph to use, you really have to know what question you're actually asking. So I could ask how many jumps that I did for each trial. That's a question that I could answer, and I could do that with a bar graph, which would look like this. So along the bottom it has the trial, and along the side it has the number of jumping jacks I did. And you could just easily count up for each one how many jumps I did. Or I have a pictograph, which took me forever drawing all these little people, but which just shows how many jumps I did in each trial. And if I wanted to, I could also find out how many jumps I did altogether. That would be done in a pictograph. All I have to do is count up all the people. And you might notice I drew some creepy half people because most of my numbers were actually odd, and a person equals 2 jumps on my graph, which is something to always watch out for. So I could do this. I could do a bar graph to see how many total I had, but a pictograph is better for that. I could figure out what fraction of jumps I did per trial. Now this is the one when we talked about last week. A circle graph is not something that I would recommend, but if you're feeling adventurous, feel free to do a circle graph. But remember, when you do a circle graph, you're actually showing a percentage of your total. So it's messy because I'm at home and this is all I have. But you notice I had to add up how many jumps I did all together, which I actually did 150 altogether, and then I divided however many I got for each trial. So in the first one I got 27, and I divided that by 150, and I got 18. I used a calculator. You can use a calculator. There's nothing wrong with using a calculator, but so you can see the percentage for each trial. So 18%, 21, 22, 20, and 19, and then I tried my best to make a circle that had slightly smaller pieces. But again, unless I'm doing it on the computer, I've told you guys this all year long, circle graphs are really hard for me to draw and actually be equal. So that would be what you would show. This is the kind of graph you would use if that's what you wanted to show. Then the last one is how did my jumping jacks change over time, and that would be in a line graph like this. So you notice my trials are along the bottom, my number of jumps is along the side, and then you can see that it shows you how many I got at first, and then I decided to up my game and work really hard, and so I did more and more and more, and then eventually, what do you think happened? the old girl got tired. So then I started to do less and less on my next jumps because I did all of my jumps at once. I did 30 seconds and then I took a break and I did 30 seconds more, but my breaks were maybe a minute or two. So it was all done within like 15 minutes. So this is the graph that I'm actually going to use. In my next part of this video, I will show you how to put all this together in a project-y project. If you're trying to do the bare minimum and you just want to say, hey, myself, I did math this week, that you would want to figure out how to do that, send me whichever graph you choose. You just take a picture of it, and then you can send me a picture of this. You could have those on the same page if you wanted, and that would be perfectly acceptable and sufficient. The idea is to have some fun and to share some fun stuff. So instead of just doing the bare minimum, I'm going to next show you a PowerPoint slide. I'm going to make a little presentation out of mine, and then if you get bored and you want to make a presentation out of your data, you can do that too. All right, so I will see you guys later.